This is a British medical podcast. Medical Adventures with Necessary Silence. Eyes, Episode 2. A brief refresh of the condition of my eyes. From birth. Without corrective lenses on, my condition is blurry, double vision, leading to strong headaches. That was the state of my eyes up until, I believe, it was the beginning of this year, 2016. Things have changed. But before I talk about that, there is something I wanted to touch on. Contact lenses, I mentioned last time. I tried contact lenses approximately a decade ago. I'm assuming that they will be vastly different now. Thankfully, technology keeps moving us forward for better fitting, more comfortable, more useful medications, products, cosmetics, prosthetics, that's the word I wanted. Advancements keep being made, and I'm very glad about that. When I tried contact lenses, it was a very painful experience. My eyes, I didn't realise, but they're very dry. I would use drops, which is what you're advised to do when you use contact lenses, to help moisten the eyes because they have a foreign object in them and it's going to cause some irritation. Putting them in wasn't that bad. You have to get fairly comfortable with sticking your finger in your eye. Taking them out was so difficult. It seemed almost impossible. It would be so painful. I wanted to cry. I felt like I would cry, but no moisture would come to my eyes, which would have helped with the removing of the contact lenses. It was very uncomfortable, and I didn't stick with it very long. I think it was on some sort of trial basis, so thankfully it wasn't much of a commitment. So I went back to life with glasses. Life with glasses, it's just a pain. They're impossible to keep clean for any length of time. They wriggle about on the face if they're not fitted exactly to you. And whose are? Faces aren't just in a standard shape. If I smiled too much, my cheeks would smudge the bottoms of the lenses. If I put eyeshadow on, it would seem almost pointless by the time I put glasses on, because of from an outside perspective, your eyes are glasses. Or your glasses are your eyes. They are a part of your face, because they need to be there anytime anybody sees you. So putting on makeup and making it all nice, putting your glasses back on, it felt like defeat. Plus, I have let's not say I have long eyelashes. Long and thick and naturally curved. Wonderful. Excuse me. So with the addition of a nice mascara, they become very long, very thick, very curled. So much so that I put my glasses on, blink, and then feel my eyelashes drag up the lenses on the way back up. so I couldn't get the full potential out of my eyelashes, and a lot of people go to a lot of effort to have larger or more noticeable eyelash collections with lash inserts and false lashes and various mascara treatments. And I have what would be considered good eyelashes, and I wasn't able to make use of them. So that was a shame. You sweat, where the glasses constantly touch your face. In the summer in particular, that's very uncomfortable, and then leads to spots where the little pads of the bridge touch the nose. Oh, that is not nice, because you can't just take your glasses off. You take your glasses off, where are you going to put them? You can't see properly, and then you get a headache. You have to put them back on. And I'm sure if you've had a spot anywhere and there's a constant pressure and rubbing on it, it's very painful and distracting and a big nuisance, really. Fogging is another issue. If it's cold outside, you come inside, the glasses immediately fog over. But also, if you've been exercising and you stop and you're talking to someone, just from the heat coming off of your face, your lenses can steam up. That's quite embarrassing in conversation. You're chatting to somebody and then slowly you can't see them, it's like a mist has settled. Never ever clean enough. I think I can stress that. Never clean enough. Makes it difficult for sports, swimming in particular, unless you get prescription goggles. That's a serious outlay. You've got to know you're going to be swimming a lot. Excuse me. There is, of course, the option to have your eyes laser treated. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for all conditions. It can't be guaranteed to completely fix conditions, so you might end up still having to wear glasses, but of a lower prescription. There is a risk, obviously, of shooting lasers into your eyes. There's risks involved, and a high cost. It was something that I was considering, but having glasses all my life, you don't really know what you're missing. Why do something risky? Is it just for vanity? I don't want to do it just for vanity's sake. And then my husband got the HTC Vive. Excuse me. VR, virtual reality, came into my life. I'm not a big fan of games because I get too competitive. I get very angry, and that's not something I like in myself. So I tend to steer clear of games. But my husband was keen for me to try virtual reality, and he said he had read of some instances where it helped with people's optical conditions. So some people had, I think there was a case where somebody was colorblind, I believe, or they had some other vision impairment, and using the virtual reality goggles, headset goggles, back to the swimming, using the headset had sort of awakened synapses and channels to allow the eyes to function more as they would in the standard setting. I'm loath to say normal eyes, because who really knows what anybody else sees? But certainly improvements. We went for the HTC Vive I say we, wasn't really up to me much. I didn't care. You look into the specifications and get what you think is right. Virtual reality has changed my life. It's like the headline of an article in a cheap magazine. My eyesight is fixed. Excuse me. My vision is wonderful. I'm so happy whenever we're in the car and we're driving and I lean forward and I can feel a huge smile on my face, and I'm not wearing glasses, and it's especially useful because if I smiled big I would smudge my glasses with my cheeks. So I'm smiling big and I'm just looking at all the leaves. I can see so many leaves. It's so beautiful. Even now, it's the end of 2016 now, I still wake up and go to put my glasses on. I guess that will go eventually. It's been so much a part of my life. But now, I don't need glasses at all. Not at all. I use VR. If I use it once a week, roughly 20 minutes, it keeps everything okay. If I go too long without a session, then I start to get a headache over my right eye. The vision becomes a little bit out of focus. I start to realize I'm seeing only with my left eye and a little bit with my right eye. So it needs topping up. It's not a use it once and be fixed forever. But one session of VR a week, minimum. I mean, I could have more. One session of VR a week to not have to wear glasses at all. My eye is straight. I can prove that because when we got the VR headset, what you need to do is establish your pupillary distance, I think. It's called your PD measurement. And it is essentially the distance between your pupils. And everybody needs to have that sorted to get a clear image in virtual reality. So we went to an optician. It was a very stressful appointment, but that's for another time. And they measured the distance for my husband, who has wonderful eyesight. Well, he has his own eye problems, but that's to do with the contraction of the iris, not with his actual vision. So his eyesight is wonderful. They measured his pupillary distance at 68 and mine at 65. Now this is millimeters. So if you look at the difference between 68 and 65, it may not seem that much, but when you consider it's on your face and then you reduce it by those millimeters, and that's how far in my right eye was going. So if you look in the mirror and you hold up a ruler, you see where your pupil is on one side, and then you count over 63. That's where mine was. It was in very, very far. It was very noticeable. Since VR, I now share the same measurement as my husband. This is proven that it's made a difference. This is something that can be measured. My eye has gone from 65 millimeters between the pupils to 68. It has moved, corrected my vision. Of course, we can't get 68 exactly on the headset. We tend to go for 67.8 or 68.2 because there's a little dial, and it doesn't seem to want to go in between those two numbers. But we make do, and it obviously works. I don't get headaches, I don't have blurry vision. I walk around and it's astonishing to feel breeze and dust and things hitting my face. I didn't realise quite how protective my glasses were. When you find dust in your eyes, like, oh my goodness. What are you doing, nature? Why are you in my eyes? But it is so worth it, just to look up and see the trees. Everything so clearly, and to just have nothing between you. It's not something I thought would happen within, my earthly lifetime. Not this side of miracles. VR has changed my life. I think that people with eye conditions similar to mine should be able to have access to VR. There should be centres where you can go in and use VR once a week and not have to wear glasses. I think that should be a thing. Just imagine all the manufacturing costs gone. You've just got to use VR once a week. Well, once a week for me, it could be different for others. If you have any doubts or you're thinking, how do I convince my family that we should go ahead with the large cost of establishing VR in the home? Do any of them have glasses? Could you tell them about this, about what it's done for my life? Maybe it will do the same for them.